and then you have the Snyder type, who I think is probably best exemplified by Mike Cox, where at this point, you are a businessman. You are a lawyer. You are that business owner, and you've won 2 statewide races. So I think he's both has insider abilities, but outsider bona fides where a lot of people don't know you yet, so you still get to tell them the first thing they learn about you. So
And he'll
to me, you can't go wrong with either guy.
and he's a self-funder too, right?
Yeah,
He won some
came
lawsuit.
in with the million.
Yeah.
I think Mike needs to tweet a bit more, but I'm biased. That's my favorite medium. He's more of
No,
a Facebook guy,
hey,
but
you have to, if and that's one of these candidates, old kind of, I call them
very much old school.
old school candidate.
Even old at this
Yeah,
point.
even old. Yeah, because we're still
Right.
young, James. We're the youth of the party right now, baby.
Right, Mike
Um,
has those gray hairs of wisdom, and I think they're even white these days, so
that's
Mike
right.
knows, and which I think also, you look at his picture from 20 years ago when he was in office, you look now, it just stinks of experience and
Yeah,
wisdom, and a guy and then you look at when he makes an attack, his lines of attack are so clean and so logical. He makes a lot of sense, and I think the more people know him, the more people will like him. The unfortunate thing for him is that he's kind of in that bad place where people the people who do know about him still have that association with what he said about the Kwame Kilpatrick party. And so that was 25 years ago, damn near, that those remarks were made. And it's one of those random things that just sticks in your head. And so
it's
there's people who can't get over that, but there's not many of them. But I do hear it not infrequently that is one of their worries.
and I don't know. I don't know enough about Mike and his what he did. I know he's very passionate on the Second Amendment. He was very passionate about crime, obviously, because he is Attorney General. But I really don't know a lot more about him. And it's interesting because he's a self funder,
Mhm.
which he says he's going to be. He hasn't announced. And also Perry Johnson, which I don't think Perry Johnson should run. I think he needs to do something else. He did,
The law should damn near bar Perry Johnson from running.
I mean, I think the consultants, which most consultants are just leeches, and they're just telling them that there's a pathway to victory so they can steal millions of dollars from the poor guy. But Mike Cox and basically Kevin Rinke are the two people that are kind of contemplating on whether or not they're going to run.
Mhm.
So that goes with my narrative of we have to have a self-funder in the race. So whoever decides to run for the other one who's not a strong candidate for fundraising, they can take more of the pot to win, because I'm thinking
Right,
strategy in both races, not only
right.
governor, but we also attorney general, secretary of state. That's a whole other show with delegates and everything else. But we have two self funders, and this is where I get kind of pissed off. They're never mentioned in any of the news articles. Fox News, nobody ever mentions, because the people who hold the keys to the castle refuse to mention their names. And I think the reason being is because they're not puppets. They don't need the money and the shake their
Mhm.
hands and I'm willing. They're saying, I'm going to do it my way. And I think Mike Cox and Kevin Rinke are both smart enough to say, hey, look, I'll have a conversation with you. I'll sit in the room, because both of them obviously have some business sense, and I'm going to listen to their ideas. But at the end of the day, it's going to be my decision because I'm the one elected. And I think that scares the shit out of Washington and all the
Yeah,
political elites. And
yeah.
it's frustrating because I don't know Mike. You obviously do know more about Mike, but I know Kevin. I've been on the road with Kevin. He did with me when we were doing all the Trump 47 tours, and I was
Mm.
spent 9 hours in the car with the guy. And I've grown to really, and I would call us good friends, and to know his policy. And he's kind of reminds me what you just said about Mike Cox is you have to get to know him. And once you break through that skin, then you're like, I like this guy. And that's kind of how I feel with Kevin. And I'm hoping Kevin runs, because I want somebody who can self fund, who can have that executive experience, who's been
Mhm,
proven to have executive experience, not
mhm.
just say that you do. Did you build and sell businesses and
Right.
be in charge of 36,000 employees? I mean, that's what the executive of the state's going to be, right? So that's what I'm kind of looking for. And right now, there's just no one else that really has that experience. And it's unfortunate because I think the people are ready for it.